Okay. Right, I'm told we're live. Hello, and welcome to a quick look at Mad Max. We are... Okay, story-wise, I'm not sure how far in. But we've basically maxed out the first stronghold we get to, which is Jeet's fortress, stronghold, whatever. It looks like a lighthouse on a hillside. Or it's a chimney stack or something. We've cleared all the surrounding areas, so that's camps, other like watchtowers surrounding the areas. We just did the minefields. So if you can load in, come on.
A beauty saint.
There we go. So as you can see, this whole first area of Jeet's we have cleared out. There's still some scavenging, but I'll do that later. We started the game over in this corner. Met someone called Chum. He's our Blackfinger, our car mechanic, who rides with us. What to do? What I will do is I'll go to one of the balloon locations. That one's done. Let's go to this one.
You feel it? Huh? We're ready for the job. Huh? Ready as we'll ever be.
Currently muttering to himself. Right. In the top left, you can see we do have a quest at the moment for Gutgash, but you can do that whenever you want.
I'd wager if we destroyed these unholy camps of the Scrotus Horde, they'd treat us like kings around here.
As I said, I guess sort of open world progress, maybe about 30% through, maybe. They have. It's a well-crafted open world. I'm not sure I like it thematically.
It's a blast. It's a shooter.
There we go.
Roadkill.
Now the numbers above their heads indicate the additional armouring they have. So you can see that the Thunder Poon, as they call it, that we did, requires 2 hits. We're quite low here. Let's change. Right.
She's wounded.
Need to get closer. Whoa.
Want to hurry up?
You can see in the bottom right the status of the car that he's currently repairing. We haven't actually upgraded the section of Gutgash's stronghold that will automatically collect all this salvage for us, so I have to go manually do it. They're all such small quantities that it's probably a waste of my time to do this, but every little bit helps upgrade our character and the rest. As you can see with Max, in the stats, we've got a reasonable amount of upgrades for the character, and progress-wise, it's the most frustrating thing is here. Even if you look at it in game, it still tags it as new, so you still actually have to pop in here and have a look at it. So frustrating. The Archangel concept is weird to me. It seems that you have to have a specific build of the vehicle to qualify as driving as an Archangel, but I kind of think they're all bad. So, anyhow, as it can show, we've unlocked quite a lot of car parts, which is why quite a few of these are green. But some of these parts require either money or, as it says, reduced threat in Pink Eye's territory, which we're not going to be able to get to till quite later. So anyway, this is our current build of the car. Acceleration could probably be better, but I'm a bit poor, and I need 900 for that. Right. Legend, you can see how we've upgraded our character with these Griffer tokens. you do all these different challenges to get tokens that you can then use to level up your abilities. And it also has a legend rank, as they call it. So each challenge we do bumps that, and that gate gives us access to further bits and bobs on the car and the rest. These are kind of dumb, but I mean, they look reasonable. And then you've got, I guess, bosses here? Yeah. So we've killed these two bosses so far.
Come here, little piss.
They're sort of camp leaders. Right, so let's quickly have a look at the map. Excuse the ticklish froth. At Gutgash's place, you can see we need to collect parts to upgrade it. So you look at the, I'm not sure what you call it, the project site, and it will say these are the parts you need to find. So this is one that we've tracked it, so it's on our map. So we should go do that after we've been to the balloon place, which I was going to go there, but I got distracted. My bad. Oh, we've discovered a minefield. So you've got these things dotted around. You've got these scarecrows, which are little tokens to sort of highlight that, hey, this is our territory, you should bugger off. You have camps. They're basically like all typical things in open world to sort of lock power in. So as soon as you defeat those, and as you can see we've done all of them in this area, it enables you to get through. We've got convoys. Now have I? Yes, here. See this dashed line? A convoy of vehicles, keep following that route. If we destroy them all, that turns green, like it has over here. And it's pretty basic open world stuff. The problem is there's an awful lot of it. And I'm probably, from having played the weekend and a bit this afternoon, probably about 15 hours in, I'd reckon. There's a lot to do, and it just doesn't feel like. I don't want to say it doesn't feel like we're making progress, because we are. It's just incredibly generic and samey. Which I think is one of the disappointments about this game, that an awful lot of it feels like it could have been a linear game and not had this whole open world thing. But actually, looking at the open world, the one thing I've been impressed at is you can drive around, go up those cliffs. They've got little cliffs with holes in that you can wander in, and just the open world technology they've got is very good. And I would absolutely love if Avalanche, the developers here, actually tried to make an open world, you know, in the fantasy genre. Let's ignore those. I really don't want to have to deal with them. I mean, I can, but nah. But yeah, it's just as I was saying, they've done a really great job of realising this world. It's not really a world I appreciate, but they've done a great job. And look at these cliffs. It's such a small feature, but they've done such a good job at making that realistic. And just cliffs and overhangs are so hard in an awful lot of open world games, because the map makers only tend to have a terrain layer and then features that they've added on as like a bespoke piece of objectry. I'll leave that. Right, so let's keep going. And it has been nice to just wander around, pull up at the scavenging locations, and just pop in and just explore these little environments. It doesn't half look a bit unworldly. The light coral shapes on an awful lot of items are weird, I have to say. Okay, that was Ooh, actually,
Don't
while I have the vehicle
Certainly,
here.
yes. You know I would never leave her side.
So if you can see, Chum is repairing the car now that we've stopped. But I want to use the explosive thing, so he's going to have to get in the back. There we go. Those sort of reinforced doors that look tougher are... they require explosives to open. Actually, one thing I'll say, it was about an hour ago. I'm about 15 hours in, as I said. I'd only just learned that L2 is jump. For the entire of the game up to that point, I could not jump because I didn't know that there was a button for it. We're eating maggots because we have to. You know, I got to a point where I couldn't get inside a tram car, I guess you'd call it. Okay, this is the generator for the hot air balloon. I couldn't get in to get some scrap, and I couldn't work out how to do it because I can't remember if the game actually introduces to jumping at all, because pretty much every surface that requires you to go up is a climbing point. It's something that, you know, has these yellow bumpers and the rest on. See? It hasn't often had points where you have to step up, something like that. So that's why I had to look at the controller mapping, wondering why I couldn't get up to a position that they obviously expected us to. Ah, there's a relic here. If I hold in L3, it will tell me the current, you know, status of collectibles in this area. Once we leave this balloon point, it then covers the local area. These lore items are kind of interesting because it gives you an explicit story in this sort of thing, and then you have Max talk about it.
The smell of barbecuing meat is everywhere. But not the kind you'd want to eat.
I gotta say, his accent's awful. I can't stand it. I mean, it's done well. It just doesn't sound right to my ears. And you can see how wonderful the world is. And this definitely shows it off. I mean, wow. There you go. So now we finally know that this region is called Grit Canyons.
Ship. Looks peaceful from afar. But not seaworthy.
Now we're limited in this view to this awfully blurry binocular viewpoint, which is incredibly frustrating. Because I would hope that I'd be able to see far. But anyway, as you can see this white dot in our vision, we're meant to just look at it and it will flesh out on our map. Look, here's a camp. Here's where you're going to have to go kill a bunch of people and do the activity. So for an oil pump, we just have to go in and set an explosive off next to the oil pump, and that should, you know, diminish its power, its strength. Scarecrows we pull over or crash into. Snipers, you saw us deal with one earlier. Another scarecrow. Oil transfer camp is basically loads of containers of oil, which is kind of obvious. We just have to smash those. There's another. We can't yet pull over strong scarecrows. Now that's an oil rig, you know, like a sea one that's been dumped on the ground. That's kind of a cool building to look around. We can see close up, but basically it's the most myopic telegraph scope. Okay, we don't want death runs. I think that's probably it in a full circle now. I've not seen it. This is the other thing, it's so narrow in field of view that I don't know if you'd actually even notice if you'd not seen something. Anyhow, that's that. And it adds the points on. That's very well done. See, these things have cropped up while I've been playing, and I need to deal with them at some point. Anyhow, the purpose of the balloons is so that we can then fast travel to these points in the locations. That's not unlocked yet, so we have to do that and that one. It just means that we can get about a bit quicker. Another repair. You can see how. Oh, look at this! Absolutely ridiculous. It's why I'm so happy with the generation of games that we've had in the last few years. You know, something like Rage. Technically incredibly competent for the hardware it was running on, but just the world just felt so odd, and for all their bragging about mega textures, the world was just incredibly vanilla and samey. It's just, you know. I'm saying this, of course, there are different areas of this world. You've got swamp-like areas and oil fields and the rest. Where was it? I think it's down here where we had to. No, it was over here. We were looking for saltpeter. I can't actually remember specifically where it was. The whole area incredibly white and sand-like. Right, so where did we say we wanted to go? If I don't wreck the car before we get there. I could just... Okay, let's go to the Scarecrow, pull it down, and then... I don't even know. Maybe we should just... Well, actually, let's just go to the mission. And I can pull this down on the way. That'll make sense. Now, the majority of these scavenging locations have, you know, a couple of dozen scrap. So it really doesn't seem worth one's time, which is a bit frustrating. Okay, that's a strong one. Which means we need to be up around the corner, so I'm going to do it. No, we're good. Chum is very talkative, often talking about stuff that we can't generally see in the periphery of the screen. So he'll emote about stuff we can't see, which sometimes is useful because he'll point out there's like mines nearby or something. But other times he's talking about stuff that we wouldn't even be able to see even if we did turn around, so it feels a bit odd. You know, he'll announce that a convoy is approaching, even when we can't see it as an objective marker on the convoy route itself. So it's just, you know, it's... Oh, okay, that's it. As you can see, we've only done a minimal progress in this area. That's fine. What's that red thing up there? A banner of some sort. Ah, okay. We're gonna get rammed by the car behind us, aren't we? Yeah.
Watch out! We're in his line of fire!
I know we are.
I need in. There's gotta be a weakness.
I think that's the problem with... Okay. We're just gonna keep going. Wait, why is it not offering us the ability to shoot the tank in the back?
One hit could cause a cleansing inferno!
Right, okay, I had the harpoon selected, that's why. Sometimes I'm a bit gourmet. Right. There we go. Now you'll see aiming in this view is incredibly sensitive until this view, and then it's really sluggish.
Long shot in there.
And on top of it being sluggish, it then starts to snap. And it doesn't always snap the right pixel nearby, so you can shoot and clearly miss, and it'll still class as a hit. Because obviously it's auto-targeted where it thinks the entity is, which is fine, but... They tend to put smoke plumes on the horizon for locations that, you know, are of significance. Which makes sense, it's sort of highlighting human habitation and the rest. So. Now these solid, dark rubber marks are obviously meant to signify that a convoy regularly goes on here.
More frequent.
It's actually really well done. They didn't... I don't think they actually had to specify that convoys came here. I think if they'd have left it... If they'd have left it as like an implicit detail that you'd work out the convoy goes along this route because of the rubber, I think that would have been far better and more impressive to me. Much like Just Cause 3, I had issues with this game with sort of interacting with objects. Sometimes I can be too close and I can't interact with it. Other times, if I'm stood next to a ladder and there's a tool on the floor, it's awfully hard to select one from the other. I found that it's actually easier to I guess it's... If you climb up the ladder and then climb down it, it will still, you know, it will remember that the ladder's the last thing you did, so that's probably not what you want to do. So it offers the tool that you could pick up first, and I thought that was reasonable, but just awkward. Now this sniper post, obviously, we don't need to pull it down, but I'm doing that just because I can. There you go. And it's not even because we had to or whatever, I just wanted it. Right, so you can see here, every so often there are abandoned cars just around. I don't really know their purpose yet, apart from just being something to destroy. And as you can see, in this area of the map, because we're in Jeet's area, we've got the cleanup crew, which means that any scrap that lands on the floor is automatically harvested to our collection, which is very nice. Ooh, well, they hit us. Right. Anyhow, why would you select... There we go. Right, okay, now that we've got the gun out, they're definitely fast. Potentially a problem with so many people on the car. Okay, so you get enemies that you cannot punch with light attacks because they dodge them. So you have to wait for the parry opportunity. The problem is you often get interrupted by everyone. So let's say I'm doing a combo. I'll get punched in the back of the head by someone I have to obviously parry, but I'm currently doing an attack on someone else. Cool. See what I mean? And I was just trying to get the strong attack ready then. Now when he gets the little arrows there, he's in like a rage mode, which... So we need to basically trigger him to attack us. and then punch back. Well, but that was a messy fight, messier than normal. I mean, I won't lie, I still have messy fights quite often. See what I mean with that flitching there? Everything in this game to interact with requires holds, pretty much. Which is a bit frustrating. Climb a ladder, hold the button. Pick something up, hold the button. There's nothing else yet. Okay. Now, as you can see on the map, it's a water droplet, which means it's a water source. So what I'll do is, I'll drink my water, which magically gives us health. And then top it up again. Last week I started to stream Soma, and along with having just internet trouble for like 2 or 3 days in a row, it so interrupted trying to play that game, and I thought, look, I wasn't particularly feeling it because those sort of games I don't. So I don't know if I want to just restart playing again on the stream or just play it off stream and sort of upload the first video to YouTube. But it's a thing where even the first day we had like 20 minutes and then the stream went down again, so it's like so disappointing. I'm not even sure what it was, whether it's just the phone network being a problem or the hardware here. It does seem to have resolved itself, but even still. Okay, so here's another lighthouse. Jeets is that one there, as you can see. Okay, I said something incredibly stupid earlier about the oil rig. Well, Jeets is the lighthouse. Here's another lighthouse. Obviously, this is the near offshore. That's why there are so many boats and everything else, and that's why it's also. I probably should have thought about that a bit more. I hope we get to go up there. Right, do we have? Are there any? I would have expected some defences, frankly. That's a water catcher.
Careful! Enemies on the horizon!
Of course, he's probably talking about vehicles on the road rather than... Okay, can't do that. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay. But as you can see, that an awful lot of these gates or other structures have arbitrary restrictions that aren't obvious on visual inspection. So you have to actually approach them to read the text to learn how you can deal with it. Now, when you're in a base, certain doors will have, it'll be a solid red door if it requires exploding, or it'll have spikes on. It will be sort of a mostly, I guess like a chain link fence sort of gate if it's something you kick in. And the third option, it requires like Last of Us Shiv door, that it needs a prying tool. There is one that is basically solid all the way over and grey. Is there anything in here? Should I go down here? Is that a bad idea? Of course, I'm only looking for the odd collectible, but okay. I doubt there's going to be anything here. Oh dear. This is one of the other problems I've bumped into in this game so far. Is in one of the bases I rolled off a staircase into an... Oh, it was Jeet's stronghold actually. I used the evade button to roll down the stairs, and of course it put me in a position behind one of the seller's stalls. And oh dear.
The jaw and its blood so
We kind of need ammo for this, don't we?
Every time I see it, my gut will shrivel with fear. bastards are coming!
Right, so we've taken that defense down. What I'll do is probably take these two down. Oh. That was handy. Of course, I'm a bit worried that our car is this knackered. Well, that was a well-timed crash. Guess there's a sniper shooting at us. Yes, there. I think we've done enough work on the cars down there that they're not going to be much trouble. Oh wow. Destroy the hinges. Oh, can I do that? I guess I might need the Thunderpoon for that. But then I think we're out of ammo for that, aren't we? Oh no, we've got... How did we get that? I had 2 on Intrinsium. Oh, shush phone. That's fine.
Get your piston down! Sharpshooter! One destroyed! Victory!
Okay, potentially bad now. Let's try and tuck behind somewhere. Like here.
It needs repairs now.
No, go on. Go do your thing, go on. It licks the sides of the screen when our vehicle is incredibly bad. So far, the game has felt quite reliable in a sense of frame rate and just, you know, it doesn't hitch much. Loading times are a bit excessive, but that tends to only be from fast travelling. If you travel from A to B to C, it's pretty faultless. I had one issue on first run where it had only downloaded the data to start, not data to continue. So we got to a point in the story where it basically had to stop at a continue / main menu option. The problem is I couldn't do continue, so I basically had to end the game or wait 2 hours on that static screen of a dialogue prompt of 2 things before I could do anything else, which is a bit odd. Anyhow, so I went in and did something else, and came back, and the cutscenes were completely lacking audio, and I assume that's because it hadn't fully installed the data files or hadn't loaded them or whatever. But it basically meant that for all of the cutscenes until I restarted the game, I couldn't hear what anyone was saying. Now, I tend to play with subtitles on, so I was still good, but that was kind of, well, silly, if you ask me. But it's just one of those oversight things, really. Okay, so I can't... Oh. Okay, so out of ammo there. Potentially a problem when we've got the snipers around. I'm surprised I can't smash that little thing. Oh, the angle won't let me shoot that there, I see. No, get off my car. Oh, pull down with a harpoon, okay.
Hold tight.
I have to assume this is going to unleash something ghastly. Just finally destroyed the road. Nice, we can get the V8.
They're dead, Barons! Lungs are still pumping, and our hearts are still beating.
Should we venture further forwards, or should we go get the next mission?
We're gonna find this woman called Pinkard.
What do your maps say? If things are as bad as in the Great White, she'll be under terrible pressure from Gastown war parties.
And we'll do the same for her as we have for the others.
Now we're on land, I guess, which means we can have a terrain difference. Now it's just going to be sand on on everything. So I'll go up here to unlock this balloon, because I think that'll be handy for when we want to return. And then we'll go straight back to Gutgash, I guess. That's cute. I do think the music in this has been good so far. It's been very sort of background Batman music in style. Oh, that looks quite strong, that scarecrow. Let's see what it says.
See the scarecrows, metallic monstrosities everywhere.
Oh, level 4, okay. Well, we can destroy it because we've upgraded our car quite a reasonable amount. For ramming potential, of course. I can't believe the amount of dead bodies on that, frankly.
Stay. Guard the car.
Yes, gladly. It is my sacred place.
As I said, it doesn't seem worth it if 6, 4, so that's 10. So 16 with 3 extra. No, it doesn't, does it? However, there's obviously a finite amount. This place could do with some greenery. At least there are shrubs now. I was a bit concerned, obviously in the last place that there wasn't enough greenery, but I guess it makes sense now that if it was the bottom of the ocean, and yet the ocean's dried out. Oh, we've got no ammo for that. Right, got it. If obviously the water's gone, all the plants. That's why all that coral. I'm a bit of a numpty. I'm saying, hang on, why is all this stuff that looks like coral around here? Well, I wonder why you muppet. Okay, so there's a. Sometimes even tapping X when you're right next to someone, it doesn't give you the... Okay, I was saying about the frame rate being great, but there it's a bit low. Okay, apparently we did a Fury ground execution, but it didn't. It decided not to actually do the animation for it. Nice. Yeah, the frame rate was a bit crappy there, and still is. I don't know. Here's one of these pry bar boxes. So you have to hold X, mash X. Now it's opened it to then hold it to collect. It's quite laborious to get through sections in this game. It saps some of the fun out of it. At least that's my impression so far. Done everything? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's one thing I forgot to notice. As you can see, this balloon has got tethers on it, so we actually have to go detach those before we can use it. There is wildlife in this. It's not common out where we were. You'd only find it sort of down underground in some of the caves. Apologies for that, but we have to eat some rodents. Basically, you can get a bit of health back from that. Yeah, I didn't really twig that there's really not a lot in the way of wildlife at all until I think we opened a container and it led downstairs to underground, and there was 3 or 4 rats just running around together in unison. It was kind of weird. Now, on the weakest of weak tethers, you can just do a pull, as they call it, a quick pull. So that means you don't even need to drive, which is handy. I need to upgrade the reload speed, because at the moment that's the thing that is frustrating me, but it's... I wouldn't say it's expensive, but we are trying to save some scrap together for some other upgrades. I haven't actually worked out yet the iconography, whether it has meaning, whether those are the different clans or something. You'll find quite a lot of the time there are arrows and other indicating marks alongside the white skull faces. I like the signpost just flapping in the wind. Actually, I'm not sure I brought it up on the last balloon. Descending in these is incredibly slow. I mean, I know it's a balloon and you're having to let hot air out, but gosh, just put me back on the ground or something. It's Nitsack. Interesting name.
Pinko's tower. Slow in one piece.
Fortified scarecrow. What's that other thing? Okay, don't know yet. Sniper. Death Rune. Okay, that's where we came from. As you can see, it's odd how focal point is just... it's just messy. I just wish it was a flat zoom for the whole thing. Because why? I mean, it's a telescope. We're not, adjusting the focus as we go, are we? Or else it would be constantly shimmering in and out. But it's not. It is literally just... they've made it blurry on purpose, and it's... I don't appreciate it. Okay, so that looks like everything. There was a suspicious hill that looked like it was deliberately blocking our view of something. Probably over here, maybe? Just looking in the direction. I think it was... yeah, it was probably over this direction. So now that that's a quick travel point, I wanted to go back here. Okay, we've not picked up most of the parts. Okay, can't fast travel this very second. Yeah, that was the hill that I thought was a bit suspicious. So. You can see the loading times for yourself. Now initially I had this game on my radar because it had been ported to Linux. I just hadn't got around to getting it yet. And then of course with it turning up on PS Plus I'm like, okay, I'll try that out. Okay, I've already done. I completely forgotten I'd already done the basic metal delivery. Now, these are the projects, and as you can see, it has one of two parts. And if we hold to track, it'll then say, "Oh, it's here." However, we're not going to do that. We are going to go up and go to where we said we were going to go to for this story mission. But I am back here to just talk to the big guy. Another one of three. The purpose of those projects is to, whenever you fast travel to a location or pull in, it will top up all your supplies and everything. Yeah, you've already said that line.
Killer, the steel you brought has been very useful. I could sure use your help again. You know my people believe that the big wet shall once again splash these barren shores. I need them to keep believing. In belief, there's hope. But they need an idol, a relic of the water gods. And I think I found it.
What is it?
An idol of a critter of the ocean. It will give them the hope that they need. And their hope will see us through. You'll find it in the wall, north of here. Use your longlookers.
In the harbour wall. Huh. I mean, I could fast travel there. I mean, I can't because there's no tick. Now we'll continue with the other quests that we've got. But yeah, the projects top up our inventory whenever we return to one of these bases, if we've actually unlocked them. Some of them provide additional bonuses, like as it says. That means this I think is kind of weird. It requires an online connection, which basically means they're worried about people advancing the clock. Which honestly people shouldn't be that worried about. I mean, if you want to start the game, just complete that. Put it forwards by 2 months and then reload the game. I don't see why not. It's, you know, if you don't want to spend all your time collecting scrap, I don't think you should.
Find out.
I should have fast travelled, my bad. Oh, shh. It always takes you outside the car. Now, this is one of the other interesting issues I discovered. You can decide to choose a different vehicle upon leaving. So you do a vehicle selection, and I tend to do that when I want to go defeat the minefields. And for that, you need the dog in the back, because the dog apparently can discover mines. Anyhow, if you select that option and you're outside with the vehicle and then fast travel to a different point, it will then reload this normal car. So whenever you want to take the dog out to take out the minefields, you need to start from one of the main bases. And as such, there's only one so far. So I've had to drive quite a bit to go take out all the mines.
What are Pinkar's defenses?
Just a big, thick wall tower. Hard to breach.
I'm gonna scout it out before we get any closer.
Sound idea. Sound idea. Keep our distance.
It really didn't do much, did it? Exactly. Oh, there's a convoy over there. See the little...
A war boy horde approaches.
Oh, snipers. See, the aiming is really kind of bad.
It's one of Scrotus's convoys.
Oh, come on, it keeps flicking back to the left as I'm trying to aim it. So whenever you see a glint like this... Oh, my bad. I went to aim and hit the wrong button.
Please drive.
I gotta get into that camp.
As you see, it as soon as you get over it, it's just like, no, you really did push it a bit more, but no. It's just, it's not sensitive near the middle. It's like there's more of a dead zone than it needs, and then on top of that, it then starts moving your aim as you get close to stuff. So those things we took out there produce lots of flame when we're approaching them. Of course, we can't see those things, so it really shouldn't actually reveal them as points of interest. But that's a camp over there. We're basically identifying objectives or defences that we have to take out. Can I shoot these down? I've never tried. I can. So you can see it's by Avalanche because they go to a lot of effort to make the physics in a game like this work well. Now, in the options, there's actually a setting to make the car able to flip over onto its roof, but I left it alone because I think, well, I'm meant to be enjoying myself. I don't want to have to mess around with the car, so why not? And you can see it's kind of impossible to flip the car. It always rights itself, which is actually incredibly lovely. There's an informant here. Let's get out. Now, I think some of the reason why I hadn't realised that the area over there was an ocean is because some of the cutscenes just got so mouthy, I just started skipping them. So I watched the first two, and then it was just like, oh, you can't skip these, so we're just going to have to watch it.
My sister Pink will succumb if you do not destroy them catapulters.
Okay, she's being a bit Jar Jar.
Have you no remembrance of where the steering wheel is located? It cannot be alien to one sent by the age. Surely, you test my faith. Test the test.
Oh, cutscene.
Lo, smoke rises. Roots have descended. Oh. Cam and piston. We must make our presence felt.
No. There's no reason to risk our skin here.
If Pink Eye should die,
We'll use the gear that's in there. Your fabled fingers are nimble enough.
my fingers won't fail me, Saint. But these defilers, the very same ones that destroyed my sanctum. Saint, summon into mind the horrors they brought. They will do the very same here, and they will leave no sacred tools.
They'll burn what they can't carry.
And they break what they cannot burn.
Then let's go.
Yes, Saint. Praise me. Fire and brimstone! They're reducing the Pink Eye Sanctum to rubble! They swarm like flies!
There's only one way inside.
Hardware, Meterside Assault, unique to Stinger. So should we be destroying them? I'm just trying to keep my distance while it reloads the weapon. Because I can't take much more damage than this, sadly.
We prevail!
catapults will be a problem.
Let's use the harpoon and rip the beast open.
We will, don't worry. Rip open, expose the stash of barrels. How they didn't throw him off, I don't know. I thought it said we could... Oh, there, okay.
Exposed! Let us hurl thunder into its weak innards!
I thought it said shotgun. Oh dear. Okay, so apparently we should be that near. That's what I've worked out from that. You take your time, John. We'll do the one at the back next.
Strap in. Opus is ready to eat blacktop.
And it's not actually ready, it's only 2/3 healthy at the moment, isn't it? You know what I say?
The rest are inside.
Cool guys don't need to watch explosions.
I see a way. But it's high up.
Maybe there's a way up through the ruins.
It's always better to have a melee weapon for fighting. Do far more damage with it. Again, whenever there's like a prompt like that, if I tap X, it does nothing. It's just kind of frustrating. There's nothing to pick up there. That's definitely flaming. I can't believe it's telling me that now, considering I've turned off like 4 or 5 of those already.
Gotta get through the fire.
Surprised they didn't have that interlocking, so there would have been another flame over here. Why? I guess that's heat haze from that flame that we can't see. Yeah. It's kind of odd that we can get behind it, and yet we've got to go through there, obviously. Okay, let's. So you can climb ladders while holding your melee weapon. If you turn off valves or open a door, he will drop it. It doesn't make sense to me that he wouldn't pick it back up again. Went to punch him, he decided he'd already want to go to hit me, so I had to hit triangle, but I was too late because I was hitting square. There we go. So whenever you pop open your Fury meter, the screen goes a bit funky. And it lets you kill people quicker, which is like, fine. Don't really get it. I don't think Mad Max needed rage or combos or anything. I mean, the game's not built around shooting. To fire, you aim with the L1 button and shoot with the circle button, which is kind of weird. Running is R2, jumping is L2. So yeah, the game's not a cover-based third-person shooter at all. It's more of a brawling game with some extra bits and bobs added on.
Massacre.
That's interesting. Can I get it down? Okay, so fight's coming. Interestingly, I can't pick up these spears, even though typically in other areas where there are spears I could. I wonder if that's because I've got this. Nope. I mean, I should have twigged. There aren't icons for any of the weapons on the ground, so. As you can see, I can roll while I'm holding this. Can I jump up? I can. Okay. Is that just set dressing? Should I have been able to come here? Is that just an Easter egg for people that decided that they wanted to come here? It's odd that it's got the thing in the top right. Typically it pops that open if you're about to have someone come in distance to punch you. So maybe they're above me or something. As you can see, we're carrying this mace up to the next level. Ah! Now these are like... because they're explosive. Of course, I know this isn't the explosive one I wanted. Now if you're really close to them, then you can impale them and you kick them backwards and then that happens. It doesn't typically do that little, I guess you'd call it a cutscene, but it doesn't typically do that slow-mo unless you've killed everyone in this moment, this sequence. So that just signifies, yep, you're done with this little fight, go on to the next fights. It's odd that all this scraps here, and yet it doesn't tag it as an area thing, because look, see? So is that just anonymous scrap that isn't counted as part of the world space, or what? Okay, it's odd that there's an extra ladder here. I guess, does this come behind them? No, okay. Pretty much the exact same point I would have come to anyway. Okay. Again, makes sense that you would drop your thing when you're drinking water, but since we have to hold this button, you'd think it would then crouch down, pick it up. If I'm holding something when I go to fill this, it'll drop it. So it's just sort of inconsistent that there are only a couple of things you can do while holding it, and it will keep it on you. And most of the other times it won't. It's just, it's not obvious what it will and won't do for. Just stretching a sec. Just got an incredibly itchy back all of a sudden. It's probably just a reaction to the chili or something.
Let's see what's inside.
Probably, yep. It's a fighting arena.
Wheels! Lay down
Probably.
your arms. Let's you and me parley instead.
No
Parley.
sticky tricks, Stanko. Today, we finish it.
Called my bluff, Wheels! It finishes today. The total erratification of all. You, everything here.
Master order this? Scrotus word? Or you playing solo?
Oh, it's sanctioned.
Tell me
Way
about
up on high. Bring him out!
Great.
Time for a slicing, boys!
Well, that went okay for once.
Stay, or I drain it!
How did he manage to just get a chain? What? Of course, the single random good-looking girl that we've met so far
You
gets
tell me,
kidnapped.
son.
Ugh.
Tell you what,
Tell me why I shouldn't land a slug right between your eyes.
I need your help.
Let me get this straight. You come here, stranger to my domain, and risk your life to help us.
Yes.
Now the beard is my
Yes.
choice.
And capable.
You get the option of some heads.
I think we
I
can
picked
do
one with
business.
beard because sometimes I have a beard, so it's the only reasoning there.
Listen, Saint. There's talk of the big chief in Gastown.
Can we trust it?
Oh, these folks, they know engines, huh? And the V8 we seek.
Let's hear it.
They say, to take the big chief, one must win a most dangerous race.
Who do I see about this race?
The Gastowners call him the Outcrier. Oh, he hangs out near the refinery underbelly.
I do like the spark plug necklace Chum has. Alright, well, we'll get her mission to get the dot on the map. Oh. Right, okay, how do we... Oh, there. Okay. Can we donate? I guess we should have enough to donate here? Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, there are benefits for doing the stockpiles. They're all part of. Is that a ladder or is it a neon lamp that's just dangling? Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, all we're trying to do is rebuild these bases for us. I don't know if there's actually a direct benefit to doing gut gashes, particularly. Because if we've gone from Jeets to being 100% to gut gashes then here, it just seems like, do we have to? I assume there might be a late game thing where we all join together to do that final battle. It might help if I fully enabled these people. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to work its way to the sort of Mass Effect level of, you know, all your endeavours come together.
The time has come for us to uproot. There's no way we can stand up to Gastown. I'm sending my young
Sounds
ones
like
away.
defeatist.
Across the Great White. Out the unknown.
They'll run out of fuel and die.
But we're not using fuel. We'll build a dune ship on wheels with a sail to catch the wind.
Why are you telling me this?
I think you might help me for a price. I've found a fitting sail. I know where to get it, but not how. As reward, treasure from the days of old. Still buried beneath the dunes and ruins.
Gold? Flowers? A historic relic? A secret stash of
You'll see my
tires?
signal when it's safe.
Huh. When it's safe, interesting. Right, so that is going to the camp. That was another... We had a, if you can see... was it here? We had to go inside a subway tunnel, basically, to push a subway train out, I guess it was, for resources for... was it Jeans or Gosh, I can't remember. Anyhow, I imagine this thing will be a similar thing. We've not even been in this area at all. What's that? Harbour Wall, okay. So I wanted to go here for that mission. This this fast travel point I haven't been able to unlock yet because it says it's out of fuel, but whenever I pick up the fuel can to fuel it up, it won't let me interact with the refueling pedestal, or whatever you want to call the generator funnel. So we're going to go to Jeets because it wanted to offer us another mission. Right.
So I heard someone... We got all the powder we need. Enough to trade.
You really want to put Black in the hands of anyone?
Anyone who ain't Scrotus. I need you to open a passage into the Dead Barons for me to send caravans over. You get me one of them big fuel trucks out there and we'll pack it with explosives. And it should make a big hole in that wall. You'll be able to feed your shooter and the Dead Barons too.
An armory. Okay, so it did that the last time I wanted to get an armory going. Deep Fryer. Have I met Deep Fryer yet? Okay, we can go take out a convoy. That seems like something that we should do. Bring cheat the fuel truck. That's for her. That's the okay. The problem with going with this green and blue differentiation between some of the missions is I can't see the difference at times. Dance with Death. Okay, so Deep Fryer. We've not even been there. So I'm thinking what we also want to do is see these white filled camps. We haven't 100% of them yet. You can see the yellow ones have been. Most of the time it was Insignia that I couldn't reach because I'd run out of ammo for my shotgun. And then I hadn't really discovered how they sort of hide stuff and the rest. So that's probably going to be a really obvious relic location. And I think the other thing I want to do is start getting these to be more green before I continue doing this area. Just because it should make our character a little more effective as we're doing stuff. That's all. You know, as we get more scrap, our character's better, and then when our character's better, we can do more. So let's try for a jump. Now you'll see that we've got a reasonably spec'd out car here. Look at the damage we take. Ridiculous amount. Considering, you know, we've got boosters, so it jumps all over the place. You can see suspension helps reduce the amount of damage. Wait, why do I? Oh, that's because the Archangel thing probably adjusted that. That's annoying. Do I have the best of? Okay, can't get that. Ramming grill. I wanted to get that because that should help a bit better. Engine, can't go higher. Exhaust, that's just speed, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really care for the speed at the moment. Rims, double the amount of grinding damage, triple. Really? 100? That's a lot of scrap. Okay, let's go for that. That should help. I don't really grind much. It's quite hard to get up to the same speed and then competently steer with the same skill as the AI that's obviously trying to ram you at the same time and the rest. Repair speed. That would be nice to be quicker. Okay, we need to... And that's 3 and decrease reload time. They're quite expensive reload times. I don't really need quicker than that. Let's go for that thing. That will help while we're doing convoys. Now here's the interesting thing. Sometimes it unlocks the next one over straight away. Which is a bit annoying. Because you don't actually have to unlock all of them unless you're building the Archangels, obviously. So... What we should do actually is get... they're coming for us, we should not be here.
It's a war party!
Get it running.
The purpose of repairing it is just so we take... we can withstand this chase a little better. Kind of need more ammo, because 10 shots on that Thunderpoon is not going to be the best. let's cheese it. In you get, chump. I cannot wait to upgrade the repair speed because there we go. Let's get that off the map. Because sometimes we have to wait for quite a bit to for him to. I just saw there was a thing there, so that means that. Let's put a marker in. Was it there-ish? That container has a door in it, and you can open the door and go down inside. Typically it's just one of those signs like the weak gate or whatever that says you can pull it with a harpoon. Okay, so they're going a tight loop. That's going to be handleable. Or manageable, I should say. That all worked out. It's a shame the multiplier, was it Volition, doesn't work on any of the cleanup crew scrap. Ow, that jerk. Okay, I didn't know you could do the maneuver to smack a car to the side of you with and that would toss them off as well. That's handy. It's like push a direction and hit square. Is it like that? Yep. Let's try and get ahead. There we go.
I'll repair it in no time.
Take care of the car.
Right, take it we just go back to Jeet then.
I'll watch the angel.
Oof.
Call us when you're ready.
It's definitely handy that the back of this vehicle is fully armoured. I also imagine we're going to get attacked by shit, aren't we? And we should, really. Yeah, you can see it's definitely a lighthouse. I mean, I did notice it looked like one, but with the top missing, I just assumed it might have been potentially something else. You know, like the towers in Fallout. They look like cooling towers for something. Well, that went without a hitch, really.
We got a powder cook thanks to you.
This vehicle is not collectible. Okay. Drive the rig. Okay, so further plot points. Okay, so do I just hit triangle on here? That's not the truck we wanted. Do we have to go to a specific point? Because it didn't offer us the opportunity to hit square. Is there another vehicle? Do we have to talk to him?
Is a road. Gonna bind your soul to your road.
Some crazy talk about the ghost of Scrotus roaming around.
Oh, right. I didn't even see that over there. Oh. Because it doesn't... That is so dumb. Now this place had like 6 people in when we got here. But because we've upgraded it, upgraded it, and upgraded it.
Jeet said to talk to you.
Yes, don't worry. I will prep the truck adequately.
So where are we going? There. Okay. I was wondering why that was tweaking about, but my only disappointment, I think an awful lot of other games learnt from this and just sort of tried to get it in the lore, like with Saints Row. Having all Saints vehicles fitted with nitrous. It's just, if you're so used to being able to blindly get additional speed, as soon as you go in one of these vehicles without it, it just feels like you're going really slow. The game does, however, maintain a really decent speed when you're on the roads, or the flatter sections of these paths. You know, the ones with tread marks, so it's okay. But I think the downside of that is, the game likes doing this really small camera judder when you're going at speed. My eyes don't appreciate that so much, and I think it's a shame that there's no option to disable it. I have actually cranked the gamma down quite a bit, because I found the game quite bright, and even still, it's still a bit too bright for me, even with the gamma tweaked even more. I'm not playing on a HDR set at all, and I don't even think the game supports that. But even still, it is a shame. Now we learn it's one of these things, do we have to jump out as we get near where we're going? Okay, so I've been up here before. There were some collectibles. Yeah. In, oh no, it wasn't specifically here. Okay. It must have been to a different location. Why am I taking damage? Oh, okay. Oh, I drove into one of the little vortices of
Fuses, mate. Time to get out of here.
Okay. Just back up over here. We'll definitely clear that out. New route leading into, and so do I, which may... Okay, so I have to imagine at some point the other route's going to get blocked off. Is that it? Is that why I've done that? Water storage parts. It's interesting I got the water storage parts but not the scrap there. Now, because we're separated from our vehicle, we can call Chum to go get it for us. Which is quite handy. Thank you for delivering it. The ghostly face on the map is where we upgrade our character, and actually I probably want to do that because I've picked up quite a few tokens since I last did that. Okay, we can't hook them from this far back. I mean, why not? That feels rather mean, but I guess the justification is he's gonna kill us, but didn't really say, hey, you know, I'm gonna brutally murder you. So maybe you might want to reconsider. They don't really get much of a chance to go, oh, you're quite right, I don't want to kill you, it was just to scare you away so you don't steal all our shit? Because that's what you're going to do, aren't you? You're just going to come here, steal all our scrap, because you think it's yours. And it's not yours, you're just taking it. You know, I've gone out of my way to gather all this scrap for me, because, you know, this is the wasteland. Cardboardy, we should go there. But this is pretty much the whole game. You just travel around doing little chores for people, like all open worlds. But it's incredibly barren, and everyone wants to kill you. So far there's been about 6 characters that are ambivalent about wanting to kill you. The NPCs in the town don't matter, they are completely redundant and pointless. I think that's just the shame of it all, really. That's the world that this is, and so you just have to cope with it. Exactly. At least Chum's happy.
What treasure is that there? Oh, say it, car body. Huh? Say it.
It's definitely a car body, because the map told me it was. So you should be very happy. Yep, car body.
This body's not good, but it has scrap value.
Get away from me. Thank you. So there's a relic we still have to find somewhere. There it is. Water riot. That's odd. That's one he didn't narrate, which is a bit unusual. While he was drinking that, I was holding the X button, because it's showing you the prompt on the screen, you see. When he stops drinking his water, it doesn't recognise that I'm holding X. So it still shows on the screen that I should hold it, but even though I was holding it, it didn't activate, which is fine, I understand that. But why would it, if it's not an interactable object because we're doing another state, maybe it shouldn't show that prompt? That's all. There are all these little interactions that really annoy the hell out of me. And it should be better, I would have thought. The thing is, I know that we've done all the parts over here, so there aren't going to be any bits and bobs. Okay, so what have we done? We've done a balloon thing. We should do a camp. Do this one. So we'll do a camp, and then I'll end the stream, I think. You can see how there are wildly different appearances. I'm not sure the mottling on this wall. See how it looks just dark and splotchy. Obviously, they've gone to make it look quite textured and pitted, I guess you'd say. But I don't know whether it's the ambient occlusion they're using or something, but it looks more visually patterned than I think they probably wanted. It also doesn't have good stability around that coral. Can you see how it's flickering? Yeah. I mean, and again up there you can see that it's carving holes through the dust cloud ahead. I think that's just, yeah, it's probably their ambient occlusion method that's not working particularly well with the solution they've picked there. If I look very closely, I can see the terrain adjusting as I approach it with level of detail adjustments. But I have to say, it's, even though how would I describe this? Even though anti-aliasing is quite obvious and there's an awful lot of pixel crawl moving about, the actual stability of the rest of it is very good. Let's ignore them. No, we want no trouble, thank you. I noticed it forgot our bookmark from earlier, but that happens. So yeah, if the techniques they've got in this game were combined with some of the techniques that, you know, in your best of breed open world games, why won't it let me? That's all, those are my thoughts.
That's Prime Scrap just driving away.
Come on, come fly. No, they're not interested anymore. Okay. So yeah, technically, it's very excellent. Art style, again, brilliant. It's just there are some things about the game that just meh. Make me a little bit ambivalent. I think some of it is just like Just Cause. It's incredibly repetitive. Once you've done the basics, there's not really much to it. I don't know how they can expand on that, and I feel bad for saying that that's the downside. Considering some open worlds, I spend a silly amount of time appreciating some of their repetition. So as you can see, the camp's alerted. Those were sniper towers. Now the sniper towers I'd already taken the snipers out of, and I know that. Oh, sorry, I wanted to drive forwards with Chum. Typically, when you're driving around the world, you'll see glints on the horizon. So I'd kill things even if I'm not visiting the camp, just because it's handy to. I noticed that this cable is fully at tension still, when obviously it's definitely meant to be, isn't it? Just a metal tether. Right, so we took out snipers. We took out what they call a war crier. He basically buffs the enemies in the camp if you get the alertion status to the full extent that it can be. I don't know if I can actually destroy that from down here, but let's. Well, it seems you can't move while you're aiming. No, okay, we can't. We should definitely get the vehicle then. So we can drive through that flame. It doesn't really hurt us that much. Oh, shush you. But it's one of these other base defences. You can see the icon there is obviously saying, hey, this is a flamey thing. So let's pick the Thunderboon and destroy this fuel tank, which takes the flame out. Which is fine. It's a strong gate, which is fine. We can get through that as well. A bit more speed needed, I think. There we go. Is that one dead? Huh. I wish you wouldn't do that. When you're looking at something, it will spin your viewpoint around. What we are going to do, however, is pick this up, ignite it, throw, and then run away. It's free ammo, why not? There are quite a few people here. So what you tend to find is these camps, depending on difficulty, will have arenas of tough guys to beat up, basically. Okay, I was trying to hit X to get that Shiv Punisher off, but of course, that fella wanted me to parry him. I find it always keeps saying, hey, remember this, but whenever I want to do a wall finisher, I get interrupted by someone trying to punch me in the back of the head. So I'd love the game to just give me the opportunity to get some punches in. Typically in Fury mode you get a bit more time to murder, or rather, it's the other way around. Because you murder quicker, you have more time to murder. Hello. Great. So he interrupted me while I was doing my swing. Like it was like, wall kill. Well, I mean, that's just passive. I mean, I killed him. You know. Why not? Basically, if you see a can of dog food, eat it. If you see maggots, eat it. Because it will give you more of this... wrong button, sorry. I guess it's Wasteland? Maybe it's not then. Make 5 buzzard. Oh, okay. But yeah, you can see all these different challenges I still have to do. Each one that completes pops the legend rank over there. I think we've been doing it okay. I'm a little concerned that some of them we're not going to be able to get done before we're done with the game, and I don't know how we're going to pad them out, because they're like specifics on kill these sorts of people. And it's like, well, we'll do this sort of move. And I don't know whether I'm getting most of the moves done at all. Seems kind of... Okay, there's more... I did see that, don't worry. Yeah, what tends to happen when you progress through different parts of the camps is it opens up ladders and the rest. I hadn't actually seen anyone so far drop a ladder for us, but obviously that shows that they do specifically script characters to do it, and then obviously you can go murder them. We're going to go up there in a sec, so let's bite this, drop down. So the main objective for this is obviously killing the transfer tanks. But you've got these insignia that we have to break. And collect these scraps. And oil well parts. Yeah. I'm going to have a quick break because I've drunk quite a bit of coffee. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. There we go. I hope you've not been too bored without me here. Right, so as far as I'm aware, we've done everything in this room. I often do that because there are so many games that have roll as circle, and it's R1 in this game. With this little guy falling down, I just wanted to have a quick look around. I can't see anything else up here. You're awfully excited. Oh, there you go. So that's a car that it would otherwise want me to return to our base, and I can do that at the end. I'm busy. Sorry, just someone calling. And you can see where basically if you take it back to your home, you'll get additional scrap for it, which is handy. An awful lot of the time these camps are scanning the area to see what you've missed because... Okay, I can't... I see the pathway there. Okay, this loops back on. Okay, I see there's... Let's get this while we're here so I don't forget it. That so often happens. Right. Kind of surprised there's no insignia around the back here. They tend to do that. Right, so get the fuel can. So let's keep going back here. I do see... Okay, there's nothing in that one. Okay, there's quite a large section of everything down below. That is quite a construction. Okay, so we are going to be fighting quite a few things below, I guess. I did hit the button to climb down, but I guess the game didn't want us to do that. It's never good when they offer you water. While we have the opportunity, I'm going to fill up my canteen. Not that I think I need much, but... I thought this would be quite a quick little camp, but apparently it's a rather large, substantial. But that's okay. We're running a little over time, but it's all good. Would it please let me climb down without dropping? Yeah. That's a shame. I don't recognise these. Having already charged up a heavy attack, I would really appreciate it if the game didn't just force me to have to hit triangle. Because as you saw in that fight, I did manage to hit triangle twice when it required me, but at other times I didn't get it, which meant I took damage and interrupted my streak, which is fine. I mean, I am not the best fighter in these sort of games. I'm fine with that. Okay, so... this sort of ladder we have to kick down from the top, so that means that that's a return trip, so we're probably going around the corner here. Now this is one of the doors that you kick open, so hold X to bash. I have a feeling we're not going to 100% this, as in get all this insignia, because they're being a bit sneaky with everything. And it's one where it might take me another 20 minutes of just looking around for them. Typically when they put these sort of yellow foot things, it's to indicate, hey, you can walk along this. They do the Naughty Dog attention-grabbing colours, which is fine. I'm fine with that. As long as it's consistent, which it is, I'm all for it. Again, yellow. They tend to put red paint either around fuel or something you have to explode. It's like a, hey, red barrels here, that sort of thing, you know. They have an awful lot of these caverns over pits that obviously you'll die when you fall down. But it just seems a bit odd, really. Just odd in the sense that I was dodge rolling to avoid an attack in one of these sort of areas and just fell to my death because I did not realise I could just, you know, fall to my death like that. I don't believe we can throw this up there, can we? Nope. Okay, but it still worked. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. I take it from here we could have actually just carried it up. Okay, so fight time again. When we're not well, incredibly low on health, the game will desaturate to the blackest and whitest of colours. Whenever we get the Fury activated, it's very similar. So I actually find this game really hard to read because of their choices in just playing with the colours and saturation. I find it incredibly unpleasant. And again, there's no option to ask them to stop doing that. There we go. So we've actually finished that camp now. And you see that we've not picked up the project parts, and we're missing some scrap and insignia, which is fine. What tends to happen is, on the return journey from completing the camp's objective, you tend to find sort of scrap on the way out. It tends to be like a... what do you call it? One of those cables that you slide down. But you can see here there's an insignia over there, there's parts just here, so we're not doing too badly. Okay, so we've got 100% of the scrap now, because I see this one here. Probably means there's an insignia or two that we've just missed. Wait a sec, Tess.
Okay, Mum's got some news.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave the stream there then. My sister wants me to help with something, so I hope you enjoyed seeing a small excerpt of Mad Max. I don't think I'll stream this again, but you never know. Tomorrow, there's going to be a demo of Detroit Beyond Human, and that game is incredibly problematic, but I still want to have a look at it. So if I'm able to download that before I stream tomorrow, we're going to play the demo and maybe get some people to make some decisions for us. Anyhow, thank you for watching,